Morning class. Today our video is going to go over more graphing exponential functions. We're going to have graphs that move left and right, reflect, and move up and down, sometimes all at once. So this is a continuation of what you learned yesterday. Now yesterday I made you go ahead and put all of the points by getting the equation in doing this, where you had, let's take this exponential, 4 to the x. If the x value is at -2, you did 4 to the -2. And I had you guys do it in your calculator. So we're just going to continue that way. So your calculator, if you used it yesterday, it's going to have a lot of stuff on there. Second plus 712, that clears it. And here we go. So to get the y values here on y equals 4 to the x, we've got 4 to the -2, and when you do 4 to the -2, you get 0.0625. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what the value of a decimal is. You can always take the decimal value, push the math button, and then the first selection there says fraction, push enter, and then push enter one more time, and it's literally just saying take your answer and change it into a fraction, which would be 1/16. And we're going to keep going, just like what we did yesterday. So 4 to the -1 here. Ends up being 0.25. Or, and that fraction I know, 25 cents, that's 1/4. 4 to the 0 power, which comes out to 1. 4 to the first, 4 times itself 1 time is just 4, and then 4 to the second, 4 times 4 is 16. Now, let's come over here and let's graph it. So our first point is at -2, 1/16. So at -2, if this was divided into 16 spots, we need to be one of those 16. So it's going to be really close to 0. All right? -1, 1/4. So at -1, this needs to be a little bit higher. So if we broke this into 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd be about right there. 0, 1. Okay, that's a nice easy point. 1/4, so over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2/16, when I go to 16, will be way up here. So let's just use those 4 points. And now we'll connect them. So there's our graph. Now, a few things for you to note here, because we're going to be talking about transformation, is what's happening with our equation. So first, remember, we have y equals a to the bx, and we could have plus h and a plus k. Now we remember the a, that should be our intercept. B is just our base, but the h, this is what moves along the x-axis, and the k is your asymptote, and it moves along the y-axis. So if we note those things, it'll help us get the transformation every time. So like y to the 4x. A, it's positive. And remember, when it's not written, it's a sneaky 1. So since A is positive, it opens up. And we see our graph, it does open up. That's good. Now we look at, there's no h, so it doesn't go left to right. and there is no k, so that means the asymptote is just at 0. So one thing on every single graph I want you to do, put in a dashed line on the asymptote, just kind of put it right there where y equals 0 and label it. Remember, your asymptote is going to be the line that it approaches, but it never crosses. I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to continue on the next one.